Yo, what's good, everybody? It's me, That Weep here, back with part 6 for What If Naruto Had Ultra Instinct. If you guys have not already, make sure to go hit that like button, comment down below what you thought of the video, and subscribe to the channel for more. I will see you guys in the video. Let's just get right into it. Both Naruto and Jiraiya had been walking for a while. After their run with the Akatsuki, Naruto wasn't so sure about how safe this trip could be, and even he was wondering if Lady Tsunade herself was alright. After, well, we see that Orochimaru and his henchmen had escaped, they had no idea of where they had gone, as well as what had happened to the Sound Four who had taken him with them, or anyone who would have escaped the Konoha Crush. Anyway, Naruto and Jiraiya have now finally made it to the gambling town, and as they would stroll on in, they would then see the pub that they would go to in the original. As Naruto and Jiraiya walk inside, we can hear the door creak as it slams behind them. Suddenly we hear a lady laughing as she hiccups after being drunk for so long. "Yeah, that's a good one, Shizune," we would hear Tsunade saying, as we then turn to the left to see Naruto's eyes locking onto Tsunade. "Jiraiya-sensei, is this the person you were talking about?" Naruto would ask inquisitively, with Jiraiya saying that this is actually Lady Tsunade herself. Naruto would then sit down at the booth with Jiraiya next to him, as he then would ask Jiraiya about what she was actually like, as all he sees is a drunk mess. This is when Tsunade gets onto that tangent about how she thinks about the Hokage position, as well as the third Hokage himself. This is what tips Naruto, as if you remember, Naruto had felt like he was responsible for, well, Hiruzen's death, and so he would take this personally, as he then stands up telling Jiraiya that he can't take her talking about the old man this way, as he then tells Tsunade that she should know that he's dead, and she would laugh, saying that any shinobi's going to die eventually. Naruto would stand up as he then tells Tsunade that he wants to fight her, and he wants to see if she's really what a Hokage should be, as he's seen a Hokage fight. As you see Naruto looking into the third Hokage's eyes for the last time, with Naruto's face full of shock and sorrow, as we see Hiruzen take his last breaths. Naruto would snap out of it as he then tells Tsunade he's gonna fight her. Jiraiya would be interested in this matchup, as Naruto himself can keep up to pace with the two Akatsuki members at the same time, as well as he fought off Orochimaru and could battle with Jiraiya. As Naruto would step outside, he would then tell Tsunade that he's going to defeat her, as Tsunade would laugh at this statement, telling him that some kid like him is way too weak for him to do anything on her. She is a legendary Sannin, if he didn't know that. Naruto would then stand into that position, as he then holds his hands out, telling her he's ready for a fight. As he would then concentrate his chakra, flowing it all throughout him as it begins to overextend itself into the rest of his body. His hair would begin to change as it begins to flash, as Naruto then acts as an Ultra Instinct Omen. "I guess I'll give you the same test as Jiraiya-sensei then. If you can land a single hit on me, you win." Naruto would say as he walks towards Tsunade calmly, "But if you pass out before I am touched by you one time, then I win." Suddenly, Naruto would teleport forward as his fist is jabbed in Tsunade's gut. Tsunade would cough as she sees blood come shot out from her face, as she feels the punch throughout her entire body. A perfectly landed hit, right into a direct pressure point, which could actually have shut down that chakra line. "What the?" she would think, and she uses her medical chakra to reignite that, as well as heal her injuries. This kid's no joke, she would think, as Naruto's standing there again, walking forward calmly. What's of his eyes? As she looks into Naruto's eyes, his eyes are dark silver, with an emptiness around them, as if though he's a husk of a shell. Naruto would suddenly be behind Tsunade as she begins to turn around, her eyes looking directly at Naruto's face before he kicks her on the side of the head, sending her flying into the building next to the village. Jiraiya would shout to tell Naruto to keep the damage to the minimum, when Naruto would look back at him, giving a look of to stay out of his fight. Tsunade begins to take this seriously as she then throws a punch at Naruto. Naruto easily dodges out of the way of this punch, and Tsunade is now getting frustrated that she can't actually touch this kid. "Good night," Naruto would say. He then comes flying down with a kick directly into Tsunade's back. Tsunade would have used this to counter, as she turns around with her own kick trying to hit Naruto. Naruto's body would bend out of the way mid-air, as he uses his own power to move out of the way, dodging her attack. Wow, this guy's really good at dodging, but his attacks feel weak. Naruto would keep walking forward as he tells Tsunade that he's only using around maybe a half of his full power on her. If she really wanted to defeat him, she would have to go all out. Tsunade would then power up as she then punches the ground, throwing Naruto's balance off. Irrelevant, Naruto would say, as he jumps into the air. What is he thinking, she would say, as she then jumps forward, saying that if he's in the air, he has no footing, which means that it's game over. As he's about to land a punch directly into his gut, Naruto would then create it, the Rasengan. As Naruto creates the Rasengan, he would use this Rasengan to drift across Tsunade's arm, much like Goku would do with what would have done with Kale and Caulifla during the Tournament of Power. As he then flies past her, he would then use the Rasengan as he's turning around and says, "This is the end," as he slams the Rasengan to Tsunade's back, sending her flying down to the ground, knocking her out almost instantly. As Tsunade is now on the ground, passed out, Chizune would run out to grab her master, as Naruto would close his eyes as his hair turns back to gold as he falls to the ground. "So Jiraiya, you think that she can become the next Hokage?" Naruto would say as he walks towards Jiraiya-sensei. Jiraiya would nod, saying that he caught her off guard, as she hadn't actually thought that he was going to be that powerful. That's your thing, kid, is that when you fight an opponent, they always are going to underestimate you. Naruto would sigh at this as he tells Jiraiya that if everyone keeps underestimating them, then they're probably not going to make it to the next fight. Jiraiya would laugh, telling Naruto that's some confidence right there, with Naruto smiling, as he actually hadn't had anyone say that about him before. Most people just think I'm a monster, he would say, as Jiraiya would pat him on the head, telling him he's not a monster. Naruto and Jiraiya would go to the inn for that night, and Jiraiya would tell Chizune that he would meet up with Tsunade to talk about business in the morning. In the morning, Tsunade would wake up as she has a massive bump on her head. "Oh, that hurt," she would say, as she would then ask Chizune what happened last night, as she couldn't remember a thing. "Oh, well, you kind of got stomped by the fourth Hokage's kid." "The fourth Hokage's what?" she would say, as she opens her eyes groggily, asking more about what happened last night. "Grr, I got beat by some brat," she would say. "Well, he was quite powerful, actually. He dodged almost every single one of your blows quite easily, and he even managed to outmaneuver you mid-air." Tsunade would be quite crass about this, as she isn't happy that she was defeated by a 12-year-old. "Oh, I'm gonna go fix that," she would say, as she then installs all of her mods. Would then power up, as she says she's gonna give him a real fight. As Tsunade then would meet up with Jiraiya, as he had told Chizune where to meet up, she would demand that she wants a rematch of Naruto. "You want a rematch of a 12-year-old because he won against you while you were drunk." This is what Jiraiya would say, with Tsunade standing there, almost dead face, as she realizes the absurdity of it all. She would sigh and ask what he really wanted, when he would explain more about the position of Hokage now that she was sober. "I guess I have to. I did actually technically lose that fight, and I did say that if I had lost that I would go back and be the Hokage, according to Chizune. Ugh, what a pain." Jiraiya would look at Tsunade and ask if she has any other business she needs to attend to. She would look at him and then say nothing as she looks away, thinking about her deal for Orochimaru. She'd tell him that she'd meet up with them at the end of the day, with Naruto and Jiraiya being set up to meet her. This is unknown to Jiraiya or Naruto, however, but Tsunade was planning on meeting up with Orochimaru to cancel the deal, and she would then go to the ruins. Jiraiya and Naruto would be walking past just like they would have in the original, when they would hear an explosion as all the rubble and ruins would have been smashed to bits. Naruto would jump into the air as he tells Jiraiya that there's two of them, 12 o'clock. One of them appears to be Tsunade. Jiraiya would nod as he then tells him to get into battle formation, as the two of them would split up and rush off into different sides. As Orochimaru and Tsunade are fighting, suddenly Naruto would mirror Tsunade's movements, as he would now be mirroring Tsunade's shadow almost perfectly, as he's standing directly behind her, matching her with every speed and attack against Orochimaru. In fact, neither of them noticed that Naruto's there, as he's in such perfect synchronous attacks that it's almost impossible to determine whether he's behind her or not, unless you could see him from behind. As Jiraiya watches this, he begins to laugh, which would blow his cover, as Kabuto comes flying out of nowhere attacking him. This is when Naruto would then break out of his synchronous movement with Tsunade and say, "Get out of the way," as Tsunade would move back. "What? You missed me, Orochimaru?" Naruto would say as he then screams, "Rasengan!" As he slams the Rasengan directly into Orochimaru's gut. He would then power it up immediately into a massive Rasengan, causing Orochimaru to get sent flying backwards as he smashes into a rubble wall. "Tsunade, I'll help with this guy. However, Jiraiya can fight Kabuto alone, as Naruto and Tsunade would actually fight Orochimaru in this version. This is when Orochimaru would get more ticked off that this kid's here, as he then activates and creates his jutsu by summoning his snake jutsu. As he would do this, Naruto would then tell him that's child's play, as he would then jump forward, jumping into the air and flying up as he then prepares an attack. Naruto would create 2 Rasengans by his feet, as he then begins to spin them, spinning in the air like a top. As he then slams both Rasengans with 2 flying kicks, he would then say, "Flying kick Rasengan," as Naruto's chakra control is so good he can even use it in his feet, as Naruto is just displayed. Naruto would send the snake flying backwards with Orochimaru on top of it. "Damn this kid," he would say, as he then tells him that he's either taking his arms back with Tsunade's help, or he'll do it alone, as he then begins to turn to its snake-like form and begins to slither away. Kabuto and Jiraiya would still be fighting, with Kabuto using his medical blade. Just as he's about to stab at Jiraiya's face, Jiraiya would prepare to block it, when suddenly Naruto would grab his hand out of thin air and tell him that his master's fleeing if he wants to chase after him with his tail between his legs. He'd grab Kabuto by the throat, pick him up, and throw him towards where Orochimaru was running, with Kabuto rolling in the dirt. "Damn you, Naruto Uzumaki," Kabuto would think, as he gets up and begins to run off in the other direction. "Should we follow them?" Tsunade would ask, with Naruto and Jiraiya shaking their heads saying there's no point, and asking what she was doing meeting up with Orochimaru. Orochimaru offered me something that I had to listen about, even if I was going to decline it eventually anyway. He said she would think about her lover as well as her younger brother who had died during the last great ninja war. Never mind. "Is Shizuna okay? I didn't tell her where I was going." "Yeah, she's fine. In fact, we told her that we were heading up here anyway, before we were going to meet with you." Tsunade would then go down with Jiraiya and Naruto, as they meet up with Shizune and then begin to head back to the Leaf Village. As Naruto would make it back to the village, some time has passed, and Tsunade has now fully healed everyone who had been attacked by the Akatsuki, with Kakashi as well as Sasuke now being fully recovered. Especially Kakashi, who had more time now to be worked on than since Sasuke maintained minimal damage due to Naruto's interference with Itachi's battle. But as now Tsunade would begin to work on, Lee, as Rock Lee's leg was still damaged by Gaara in one of the last few parts. Lee's recovery would be slow and steady, as he's just about to be prepared for that surgery. Sasuke, who would be ready and waiting, would tell Naruto he needs to meet him on the roof now, as Sasuke's curse mark is beginning to overpower his mental stability, as well as his willpower. "What's going on, Sasuke?" Naruto would ask, inquisitively, as Sakura would also pop up asking what's going on. Naruto would walk to the roof calmly and tell Sasuke if he wants to talk about something they can do it downstairs, with Sasuke saying nothing as he continues walking. Naruto would narrow his eyes as he asked Sasuke if he really didn't want to come up here to talk. Sasuke would turn around and he says they're going to talk alright, with their fists, as suddenly he tells Naruto to get ready, as he then begins to jump into the battle. "What the?" Naruto would think, as Sasuke hadn't been this unstable last time he had met him. What must have happened, Naruto would think, as he easily dodges out of the way of all of Sasuke's punches without even going into Ultra Instinct. "Damn you, and you're dodging. If I could just get a hit." Sasuke continues swiping at Naruto as he uses kicks, punches, chasing Naruto all over the roof, as Naruto easily moves away from all of Sasuke's attacks. "Sasuke, you're just too slow. That's all. I've been used to guys much faster than you, or even anyone else in our Genin League." This would only infuriate Sasuke more, however, as with Naruto trying to tell him it's a warning, he would take it as a threat. "Are you threatening me?" Sasuke would say, as he gets more into a more offensive and animalistic approach of attacking, fighting even faster and faster against Naruto. Naruto would finally have to resort to actually fighting back, as he grabs one of Sasuke's punches, their first physical contact being made, and then swipes a punch towards Sasuke, hitting him directly in the upper arm by his shoulder. "Ow," Sasuke would think, as he then tells Naruto that they're going to get serious now, as the two rush towards each other, getting into taijutsu, flying through different clothing sheets as they continue punching at each other, with Naruto sustaining less damage than Sasuke. "Let's finish this," Sasuke would say as he creates the Chidori while he's up in the air. "You're damn right," Naruto would say, as he creates the Rasengan. As Sasuke and Naruto begin to rush towards each other, Rasengan and Chidori in hand. This is when Kakashi would come rushing in, as he would see the two of them fighting. Naruto would see Sakura just about to get in the middle, when he then activates Ultra Instinct almost instantaneously. Instead of Kakashi being the first one to stop them, Naruto would deactivate his own Rasengan as well as activate Ultra Instinct in a mere instant, grabbing Sasuke's Chidori with his raw hand and protecting Sakura with his other. "We can't do this while there are other people around, Sasuke," Naruto would say, his eyes and hair completely white and silver as he went into full mastered mode. Sasuke would look at him with horror as he sees his Chidori touching Naruto but not giving any damage. Naruto would throw Sasuke at the water tower, causing it to burst and explode with lightning, as Kakashi would say that was impressive. Naruto would deactivate Ultra Instinct, saying that was risky, and that Sakura could have been badly injured if they had both attacked her at the same time. She was even in the blast radius. Sakura would apologize as Naruto tells Sasuke he should be the one to apologize, with Sasuke now being more scorned and angry than ever, would run off as he tells Naruto that he doesn't want to talk to him, as he then jumps off the roof of the hospital, jumping down the walls, as he heads back to where the old Uchiha used to live. Kakashi would follow him and try to give him the advice he had given him in the original, with Naruto staying behind and making sure Sakura was alright. Sasuke had made up his mind, and later that night, his sound would come. As the 4 sound ninja have arrived. We're the sound 4, they'd say, and our master has been waiting for you. Sasuke would go with them gladly, as Naruto's sleeping at night, unaware of it completely. As Sasuke puts down the picture of Team 7, taking his things with him, as he leaves the Leaf Village, Sakura would be standing out, as her and Sasuke would come into contact. She would have that same speech about going with Sasuke, as she tells him that she wants to go with him, and that she doesn't want to go on her journey alone without him. Sasuke would knock Sakura out and place her down on the park bench, just like he did in the original, as he then would leave with the sound 4. In the morning, Naruto would be awake as he puts his hoodie on, when suddenly he would hear a knock at the door. Shikamaru and Sakura would be standing there, with Sakura's eyes all red. "What's wrong?" Naruto would say. "It's Sasuke," Shikamaru would say, as Sasuke's left the village. Naruto would be shocked as his eyes open wide, with now veins beginning to show, as he never thought that Sasuke would ever do something so drastic. "I have to go get him," Naruto would say. Wait, Naruto!" Naruto would jump out of his building, as he would then begin to rush out of the Leaf Village. "I'll handle this alone, Shikamaru. Tell everyone that I can handle this." Naruto would run out, as he then activates into full Master Ultra Instinct. "Sasuke, just hold on. I'm on my way." As Naruto begins to run, this is when he'd run to the first of the Sound 4 member. "I don't have time to deal with you right now," he would say, as Joro tries to create the mud wall. He would easily punch through the mud wall himself, him now beginning to feel anger, as he slams into Jorobo with a full power punch. "Sorry about that," he would say. It had to be done, though, as a gaping, dent was formed in Jorobo's chest as he's knocked out, feeling some severe internal damage, actually. He continues running forward when he'd inevitably run into the Flute Girl as well as the guy who can use spider webs. He would easily take them out with 2 Rasengans to the chest directly, telling both of them that they're down. "I need to find him." This is when, however, he would finally meet a worthy opponent. Suddenly, bones would begin to protrude out of the ground as Naruto's instincts would tell him to jump. Why would I jump, he would think. But just as he thinks this, he jumps into the air anyway, as suddenly several thousand bones would come shattering out from underground. "Well, aren't you here fast?" Kimaru would say, as he coughs, his sickness beginning to affect him. "You're strong," Naruto would say, as his senses are saying danger. Kimaru would begin to get into a fight as he shoots bone arrows, extremely fast towards Naruto. This guy's even stronger than Tsunade was, maybe even Jiraiya. As Naruto continues to dodge out of the way, he would easily begin to pummel Kimaru, as he then would continue to fight with more than full strength. "Massive Rasengan!" Naruto would slam a ginormous Rasengan directly into Kimaru, as Kimaru is sent flying back as he would be taken out and, die on impact. As Naruto has now taken victory. As he continues rushing forward, he wouldn't even be caring about what's behind him as he continues running. The rest of the genin who had been rushing from behind were now going to meet up with Naruto, as they see that he's already taken out almost all the Sound 4 members. This is when Naruto's running up onto that hill, that faded valley, when he hears laughter. Sasuke be laughing a demented laughter as he turns around, his hand over his eye, slowly removing it until Naruto sees what is only can be described as an abomination. Black markings are all over Sasuke's face as the curse mark is spread. One of his eyes, which are usually either the red Sharingan or the dark black of the Uchiha, have gone completely yellow. "What's happened to you, Sasuke?" Naruto would say, as he then tells Sasuke this isn't like him. "Well, how do you know what's like me anymore, Naruto?" Sasuke would say this in an ominous tone, with Naruto beginning to take a step forward. "If you take another step forward," Sasuke would say, "then I'll be forced to kill you." Which, even if I wanted to, I'm sure could be sorted very easily. Naruto would not be impressed as he continues walking forward. Naruto would then tell Sasuke, "I'm done with this. We're going home." As Naruto deactivated Ultra Instinct, not worried about anything, suddenly he'd be shocked as he just realizes how much stronger Sasuke is. As Naruto looks down, his blood beginning to leak from his body, we would then see that Sasuke has already stabbed Chidori directly into Naruto's chest. If you guys want to see the next part for What If Naruto Had Ultra Instinct, make sure to hit the like button, comment down below what you thought, and subscribe to the channel for more. We are almost at 7,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. I'll be doing some more live streams, got some more videos in the works. We got What If Deku had Rewind, What If Naruto was in ReZero coming. We also have some more stuff I have planned. I have What If Naruto was a Pokemon trainer that I want to do, that I've been researching what would be really cool how to do that. Don't worry, it's still going to have some, like, a lot of elements. Basically, I'm just going to be transferring a lot of the Naruto lore into Pokemon, which I think will be kind of fun, since I've liked doing these interesting, like, crossover what ifs recently, which I think will be kind of fun. So if you guys are looking forward to those and what's coming in the future, we got lots of things planned, then yeah, so make sure to keep watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.